Nothing in your life is random. Every moment that made you pause, every coincidence that felt too perfect, was never chance. It was a message, a signal from the fabric of reality itself, waiting to be noticed, waiting to be decoded. Think about it. You think of someone, and suddenly they text. You glance at the clock, and it's 11:11 again. A song plays at the exact moment you needed it, answering a question you never said aloud. This isn't fantasy. This isn't wishful thinking. These are synchronicities, real-time conversations between you and the universe, and they've been happening your whole life. The problem? Most people ignore them because society has trained you to. You've been conditioned to dismiss these signs as random, taught that life is linear, mechanical, disconnected, that nothing means anything unless it can be measured or proven, and that's exactly what keeps you blind. The world is speaking. Are you listening? Synchronicities are not coincidences. They are alignment. They are moments when your inner world and the outer world synchronize, when the invisible becomes visible. Carl Jung, the Swiss psychologist who first coined the term, knew that these weren't accidents. He understood that when two unrelated events come together with deep personal meaning, something greater is at play. Not luck, not chance, but intelligence. A living, responsive, hidden order behind all things. But Jung wasn't the first to notice. Ancient civilizations already understood this. They tracked signs in nature, stars, numbers. They believed life moved in patterns, that certain events, symbols, and timings were messages, guidance from the divine. And they were right. Because your reality is not static. It is a living system of energy, frequency, and consciousness. And it's constantly responding to you. Synchronicities are feedback. Everything you think, everything you feel, everything you believe ripples outward into the field of existence, and reality responds. Synchronicities are feedback loops between you and the universe. They are reflections of your current vibration. They show you what you're aligned with. They reveal what you're attracting, what you're ready to learn, see, or change. And once you start paying attention, you'll notice they increase, they intensify, they become impossible to ignore, because reality wants your attention. Different forms of synchronicity. Synchronicities come in many forms. Repeating numbers, 1111, 222, 707, each carries specific vibrational meanings. Symbolic encounters, animals, objects, phrases that follow you across different settings. Déjà vu, the eerie sense that you've lived a moment before. Spontaneous connections, meeting the right person at the exact right time. Dream echoes, dreaming something that later unfolds in waking life. Media messages, lyrics, books, or conversations answering your thoughts. Each one is a whisper from the unseen. Each one is tailored to you. They're not mass-produced, they're not random, they're precise, intentional, designed to get your attention. Why you don't see them. Here's the hard truth. Most people never notice synchronicities because they're not present enough to see them. They're too distracted, too skeptical, too busy trying to make sense of life with logic alone. But the universe doesn't speak in logic. It speaks in resonance. You have to feel it, sense it, trust the knowing that comes before explanation. Because the moment you start acknowledging these signs, they multiply. The universe only speaks to those who listen. You might think synchronicities are rare, but they're not. They're happening constantly. You just weren't trained to look. Your thoughts, emotions, and energy are always communicating with the field around you. When you shift your state, reality shifts with you. The key is not to chase synchronicities, it's to become aligned enough that they chase you. That's when life becomes a dance, not a struggle. You move with the signs, you walk with the unseen, you stop forcing and start flowing. Next, how synchronicities work and why they're not random. To truly understand the power of synchronicity, you must understand the laws behind it. The law of vibration, the observer effect, the reticular activating system. These aren't just spiritual concepts, they are psychological and quantum realities. And they hold the secret to why some people attract synchronicities constantly, while others never see them at all. If synchronicities aren't random, then what are they? Why do they seem to appear more when you're in flow, in alignment, or on the edge of a breakthrough? To understand this, we need to go deeper, past superstition, past mysticism, into the mechanics of consciousness and reality itself. Because synchronicities aren't just spiritual, they're structural. They emerge from how the universe actually works. Let's break it down. 1. Everything is vibration. Everything in existence, your thoughts, your body, your emotions, your beliefs, is energy vibrating at a frequency. And that frequency is a signal. It broadcasts into the energetic field around you, constantly shaping what you attract and what you perceive. This is the foundation of the law of vibration. It's not woo, it's physics. What you consistently vibrate through your dominant emotional state and beliefs determines what kind of reality you experience. So, when you're aligned, when your inner world is coherent, reality begins to reflect that back to you in uncanny, precise, and magical ways. We call those reflections synchronicities. 2. Consciousness collapses. Reality, in quantum physics, there's something called the observer effect. Particles behave like waves, pure potential, until someone observes them. The act of observation collapses those possibilities into one fixed outcome. In simple terms, consciousness creates form. What you focus on becomes real. And the more focused, emotionally charged, and intentional your awareness is, the faster reality shifts around it. Synchronicities occur when your consciousness intersects with specific possibilities and draws them into form. 3. Your brain filters reality. There's a part of your brain called the reticular activating system, RAS. It acts like a filter, deciding which pieces of information are important and which can be ignored. Right now, you're surrounded by billions of data points. Sounds, colors, numbers, shapes, signals. Your RAS blocks most of it, until you tell it what to look for. That's why when you start thinking about a certain car, you see it everywhere. It was always there. Now, you've tuned in. The same goes for synchronicities. Once you believe they're real, once you start expecting them, your brain highlights them. And suddenly, life feels full of signs. Because it is. You just didn't notice before. 4. Belief creates access. Your RAS doesn't just respond to conscious thoughts. It also responds to subconscious programming. What you believe deep down about reality, about yourself, about what's possible, shapes what your brain allows you to perceive. This is why some people experience synchronicities constantly, and others never do. They are living in different mental filters, different levels of awareness. Belief doesn't just color perception, it opens gateways. 5. Synchronicities are amplified by alignment. Here's the most important part. Synchronicities intensify when your inner world is aligned. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions are resonating together, when you're not in contradiction or chaos, reality becomes more responsive. You start to move in rhythm with the deeper intelligence behind life. Some call it flow, some call it guidance, others call it grace. It's all the same phenomenon, reality confirming your alignment. So what does this mean for you? It means synchronicities aren't passive, they're interactive. You are not just witnessing signs, you are helping create them. The more intentional you become, the more the universe becomes intentional in return. It's not a test, it's a dialogue. And when you learn to speak this language, everything accelerates. Your intuition sharpens, your manifestations quicken, your sense of timing becomes flawless, because you're no longer fighting reality, you're in sync with it. Next, what synchronicities mean: numbers, symbols, encounters, and dreams. We've decoded the structure. Now it's time to understand the content. Why do you keep seeing certain numbers? Why do animals appear again and again? Why do strangers say exactly what you needed to hear? In the next part, we'll break down the most common types of synchronicities and what the universe is trying to tell you through each one. Now that you know how synchronicities work, how vibration, focus, and alignment shape what appears, it's time to decode the messages themselves. Because not all synchronicities speak the same way. Some are whispers, some are alarms, some are confirmations, others are corrections. Let's explore the most common forms of synchronicity and what they actually mean. 1. Repeating numbers, aka angel numbers. These are among the most common signs. You see them on clocks, receipts, license plates, phone numbers. They show up because numbers carry frequency. Each sequence has a vibrational code. Here are a few examples. 111, 1111, awakening, new beginnings. Your consciousness is expanding. 222, alignment, harmony between thoughts, emotions, and your outer world. 333, guidance. Your spiritual team is near. You're being supported. 444, stability. Time to ground yourself and build strong foundations. 555, change. Transformation is coming. Get ready. 777, spiritual mastery. You're on the right path. 888, abundance, financial and energetic expansion. 999, completion. A chapter is closing. These numbers aren't just for aesthetics. They're codes, delivered when your vibration aligns with their message. 2. Symbolic encounters, animals, objects, phrases. Have you ever seen the same animal 3 days in a row? Heard the same phrase from 3 different people? That's not chance. That's a pattern. In many traditions, animals are messengers: crows, transformation, mystery, death, and rebirth. Butterflies, personal growth, spiritual evolution, beauty after hardship. Owls, wisdom, seeing what's hidden. Deer, gentleness, heart-led guidance. Even objects can carry meaning. Feathers, coins, keys, mirrors, and words. If you keep hearing the same line, pay attention. It's a message encoded in repetition. 3. Déjà vu and time loops. That eerie feeling like you've been here before, like a conversation is playing on repeat. That's not a glitch in your memory. It's a glimpse through the folds of time. Some say it's a sign of alignment with your soul's blueprint. Others see it as overlap with parallel timelines or moments of high awareness. Either way, déjà vu means you've hit a checkpoint, a place in reality where your awareness catches up to your soul's path. 4. Spontaneous connections. Have you ever met someone random, only to discover they had exactly what you needed to hear? These chance encounters are anything but random. They're orchestrated intersections. You were magnetized into the same moment by aligned vibrations. The right person, the right timing, the right words. This is how the universe delivers messages through others. Listen closely. 5. Messages in media. Ever had a song answer a question you never spoke? A book fall open to the exact page you needed? That's not coincidence. That's energetic timing. Books, movies, songs, even conversations overheard in public can all become carriers of cosmic messages. You're not imagining it. You're hearing clearly. 6. Dream echoes. Dreams are not just subconscious chatter. They're messages from your higher self, your guides, and even the future. Ever dreamed something that later came true? That's precognition. It means your inner vision is expanding. The veil between dimensions is thinning. And when dream content starts bleeding into waking life, pay attention. You're entering a deeper state of synchronicity. So, what are these signs really saying? Every synchronicity falls into one of a few categories. Confirmation, you're on the right path. Keep going. Alignment, check. Your inner world and outer world are syncing. Warning, course correction, something is off. Adjust. Invitation, you're being called into something greater. Awakening, time to level up. Your awareness is expanding. Synchronicities are not passive signs, they are interactive tools. And the more you engage with them, the more precisely they guide you. But there's a deeper layer still, because once synchronicities begin flooding your life, it means you're approaching something significant, a breakthrough, a new timeline, a higher state of consciousness. In the next part, we'll explore what happens when you ignore synchronicities, how to act on them, and how to increase their presence in your life intentionally. You now understand what synchronicities are. You know how they work, why they appear, and what they're trying to tell you. But here's the final truth. You can amplify them. You can train reality to respond to you with precision. And when you do, life stops being a guessing game. It becomes guidance. Here's how. 1. Set clear intentions. The universe responds to clarity. If your energy is scattered, your signs will be too. But when you set a clear intention, not a wish, not a maybe, a focused, energetic request, you signal the field. Try this. Ask for a specific sign in the next 24 hours. Then let go. Watch what unfolds. Clarity invites synchronicity. 2. Raise your vibration. Synchronicities are vibrational events. The higher your frequency, the more clearly you receive. If you're in fear, doubt, or stress, you're out of tune. It doesn't mean the universe isn't speaking. It means the message can't get through. Meditate. Gratitude journal. Connect with beauty. Feel what alignment feels like. Then watch the signals pour in. 3. Practice presence. Synchronicities happen in the now. If you're distracted, you'll miss them. Put down the phone. Breathe. Pay attention. Look at what's repeating, what's being said, what you keep noticing. The more aware you are, the more you'll see. 4. Keep a synchronicity journal. Writing down your signs does two things. It confirms the message. It strengthens the connection. You'll begin to see patterns, themes, lessons. Over time, your journal becomes a roadmap, a conversation between you and the universe. 5. Act on what you receive. This is the most important part. Don't just notice synchronicities, respond to them. If you get the sign to call someone, call. If a phrase repeats and triggers an idea, follow it. If a number tells you to move, move. The more you act, the more accurate the messages become, because you've proven you're listening. 6. Watch for the buildup. Here's a secret. When synchronicities spike, it means something big is coming. You're on the edge of a breakthrough, a shift, a higher timeline, and the signs are preparing you. Don't ignore them. Don't brush them off. Lean in. Reality is opening a door. Walk through it. 7. Trust the feedback loop. The universe is not testing you, it's communicating with you. Every sign you acknowledge, it strengthens the loop. Every time you follow the message, it accelerates the process. Every time you dismiss it, it weakens. It's not about superstition, it's about relationship. Your relationship with the field of consciousness that is always responding. So, where does this lead? To a life of deep trust, of intuitive flow, of co-creation, where you don't have to fight for clarity. You receive it, where decisions feel guided, where timing feels divine, where you are constantly in conversation with something greater than yourself. Because you are. You always have been. The only difference now? You're awake to it. Final reflection: nothing in your life was ever random. Every moment, every encounter, every coincidence was a message. The universe has always been speaking to you. You just needed to remember how to listen. So the question is, now that you know, what will you do with that awareness? Because once you start living this way, once you begin responding to the signs, you don't just witness synchronicities, you create them. And that is the greatest truth of all. You're not here to watch life happen. You're here to participate, to dance, to decode, to lead. Welcome to a new way of living. Welcome to the language of the universe. You've always been part of the conversation. Now, you're speaking it fluently.